Sure. Look, good afternoon to you as well. It's really good to be back in Nigeria. I've been here a number of times, and it's always makes me happy to be back amongst like-minded people. So, look, my name's Lindy Ngwenya. I'm based in the UK. I head up a company called CC Sports Management. We have a number of operations around the world. Most relevant, obviously, to this particular interview, we have CC Africa, which is headed up by Doju Goodluck. We also have our Asia Pacific operation, which is based in Melbourne in Australia. And we also have CISU North America, which is based in Boston on the east coast of America. In terms of myself, look, I am a classic diaspora. I'm a child of Zimbabwean parents and grew up in the UK. Spent all of my formative education and work years in the UK, and really kind of got about 10 years ago to the point where I felt I wanted to start up a company in the area of sport that could really help to, develop the sports industry across Africa. So that's the rationale for CC Sports Management, and that's a little bit, hopefully, about myself. Yeah, so just a little bit of, I guess, history. So like I mentioned before, I started CC Sports Management in 2013, and our mission has always been about working with talent in untapped, or what we consider to be underserved markets. For that reason, from the outset in 2013, Africa was always a big focus for us, as well as a number of other areas. I spent a few years obviously establishing the company, particularly in Europe and in America as well, and got to about sort of 2018, 2019, where we'd done a certain amount of work in Africa, but it felt like we needed to have a little bit more of a presence in the continent. And as a lot of our work had really been around Nigeria and around West Africa, it made sense that our first kind of African presence would be in that area. So Nigeria was the country that I sort of pinpointed. I've always seen it as a country which is hugely passionate about football, got a big population, lots of opportunities, but also lots of things that needed to be developed. And so over that time, I think when we hit the COVID period, I came to meet Goodluck, firstly virtually, and also one of my sort of business colleagues also at the same time introduced me to Goodluck, and we sort of talked for a little while, and eventually the sort of everything kind of came together, so to speak. I felt it was the right time to start an African operation. Goodluck came from a sports management background in terms of what he'd been doing at university, and was keen to also take things forward. So that's really what then got us to start up the CISU Africa flagship, which was back in 2022. And very soon after we started CISU Africa, we've always wanted to look at what can we do to, provide solutions to some of the challenges in the industry. And one of the big challenges I see is the fact that there's so much talent out there, but it has very little chance to be exposed. And consequently, even when it is exposed, the opportunities for the talent is limited. So we were just like sort of brainstorming how we could practically deal with some of those challenges. And one of the things was using technology to kind of scale up one of the solutions, which was effectively having Uburu Africa, which was like a talent database. So basically a cloud storage system full of player profiles, videos, information and history, plus their academic qualifications, and then giving that database to US colleges, who could then pick the talent from the database. And over time, we wanted to develop that into something that starts off obviously in the Nigeria, West African space to cover the whole of Africa. Like I said, I think it was just us looking to, solve a problem. And, we've seen the advance of technology and how the power of technology is it enables you to scale things. On a sort of a one-to-one level, one can see a talent and you can then, work with that talent to find an opportunity for them, which is fantastic. And every single talented person who has an opportunity, it's a wonderful thing to achieve. But at the end of the day, we need to look at dealing with things at a scale, because, we have so much talent across the continent of Africa. We need to find ways to engage talent, but also engage youth in general. So technology helps us to develop that scale. And that's why we basically thought through how can we have utilize a technology type platform to give us the scale we want to enable us to showcase talent and then provide opportunities for them. Yeah, absolutely. So, look, I think the thing about sports is it covers so many areas, in terms of the ecosystem. At the top end, clearly everyone looks at professional sport and elite sport, but that whole ecosystem can also carry a whole set of opportunities and professions for other people, whether it be administrators, whether it be marketing, whether it could be even be video analysts, media, etc. So, we've got the view that, we should take a more holistic view of what the sports industry looks like and what success in sports looks like. So not only do we look at focusing on I guess, the player who can play professionally, so the pathway to professional football, we're looking at utilizing the Uburu Africa platform to open up the window of opportunities for talent. So, the player maybe who either isn't quite at the level for professional football, or maybe it isn't quite the right time for them with professional football, can follow a football plus education pathway. And that means that, if things don't work out, or if ultimately they don't go into football, there is still a life opportunity for them, because education is something that you can't really, that's something that you can't really take away and can provide you so much opportunities in future. Our plan is eventually that, we can broaden out into providing opportunities and roles throughout the ecosystem. So partnering up with education establishments to provide sports management training and other parts of this sports ecosystem. Because our big belief is that, to have success at the top, you have to have the foundations at the bottom. The reason I'm at this tournament this week, the Evolution Cup, which is essentially a grassroots tournament, is because you have to have a strong grassroots at the bottom to even start to feed the talent machine. And all of that support staff around that grassroots also helps to provide jobs for people. And as you move through the pyramid all the way up till you get to the elite part of the game, clearly there's commercial opportunities there. But there's also within that an industry that we can develop more roles and more opportunities for young people. So we greatly believe that, Uburu Africa is just one part of just developing this sports ecosystem much further across the continent of Africa.
Good afternoon. My name is Eludipolo Atomisin. I'm from Osun State, but I'm based in Ibadan. I I have my first degree in economics. I'm a soccer player. Uburu Africa database is an online platform for connecting student athletes to different coaches, especially in Europe. And I came across Uburu Africa from one of their agents, Good Luck, at Liberty Stadium in Ibadan, and he we worked together on different videos, and he uploaded my videos and past records on the database, and I was scouted by one of the coaches from United States. Okay, this opportunity is a life-changing opportunity for me because as an athlete, I believe that I am more than just a soccer player. I believe that just a few people who are athletes in Nigeria here have the opportunity to combine it with education because of the constraints of combining the two. But I appreciate the opportunity I have. Unlike when I was studying in Nigeria, I was unable to even have a female team in my school or to play well, but I kept pushing, I kept managing. At this point, I'm given an opportunity to not only study, but I'm given an opportunity to play and also study in one of the top countries in the world. And I believe that this opportunity is not just going to be for me, is encouraging other Nigerian youths that it's possible for you to study and still be a successful athlete. And this opportunity is the beginning of greater things in Nigeria and Africa at large. As a Nigerian, it's not usually easy to get visas because of some constraints. But with the support of the Uburu Africa team and the coaches in the school and my family, I was able to try the visa several times, but I eventually got it.
Okay, I'm Doju Momodu Goodluck. I'm a Liberian. I'm also the head of CISU Africa, a subsidiary of CISU Sport Management, a sport management company based in the UK. I'm also a master's degree student at the University of Lagos studying for sport management. I'm also a co-founder of Uburu Africa. Yeah, so basically the short-term goal of Uburu Africa to ensure we have talented athletes who are underprivileged, have access to sport and also education. Within the short one, we get to see that some of these athletes are make use of the opportunity as regard playing to a well-developed system where they develop over time and ensure they make better use of their talent and career-wise. And looking at the long time, we're looking at the industry from a broad perspective. But you get to see, compared to the European sport industry, some of the actors who are driving this sport industry in Europe are athletes. But we get to see in Africa is a different case. Yes, so we want to ensure athletes have more access to proper education. So in the long run, they become more useful to the system. Like a very good example, like myself, I grew up while playing football. But the fact that I went to school, acquired a certain level of education, I'm able to be more useful in terms of developing the system. So in the long run, this is what we tend to achieve.